Hey, what's up? So if I was to give this movie out of 5, I'd give this a 2.3 out of 5. It's not a bad movie. It's the average Netflix movie. Now, it's a sport, it's a sci-fi sport, and it's also a drama movie. And it happens in Brazil. A future whereby prosthetic limbs are a thing. You know, a future whereby sports, now people are allowed to, come in with their prosthetic limbs. And if the prosthetic limbs are bionic, that means that they will obvious have an upper hand, they will have an advantage. So we live in a future whereby normal people in sports are not doing well because the records are being broken by these enhanced human beings. And so we follow the story of two sisters. They've been brought up by a mom who was a long jump champion. And so the two sisters have to compete. One of them, at the beginning of the movie, is normal. And so her life has been turned around because sports have evolved. And the other sister, who was missing a leg, has a prosthetic limb, and now she's a long jump champion. So that's the gist of the story. That's the drama that you follow throughout the story. Now, what makes this movie convoluted and makes it a 2.3, rather, it's because it has so many things going for it. You have a group that is anti-prosthetic bionic limbs, and you have the government investigating something that happens at the beginning of the movie. Then you have the company of the prosthetic bionic limbs that is focused on trying to take advantage of the idea of those limbs as much as possible. They're trying to, capitalism, how it works. When you introduce a product, it does well. How far can you push it? How much more money can you make from it? And so we see there's the company, there's the sisters, there's the corps, and there's the group that is anti, prosthetic bionic limbs. And so you have all those things in one bag. And that makes the story a bit convoluted. The performances are okay, but I really like the main character. She has a certain look, she has a certain body type that fits the idea of a sports personality. And when the prosthetic limbs are placed, she looks very cool with them. Now, the one thing that I cannot take away from this movie is that they did, visually, they did a great job creating these prosthetics that actually look like something that could happen in the future. I mean, they're designed in such a way that you can actually almost see the muscle within the bionic leg. Yes, they are metallic and they have those robotic-like features, but when they move, you can see what is happening inside them. Like, for example, there's a scene when you're introduced to the sister who has a prosthetic limb. She's jumping up and then the camera pauses and you zoom in and you can see clearly the leg. So the design work in terms of the leg, that was pretty commendable. Even the other limbs that are introduced within the movie, especially when it's starting off, there's something that happens with a particular limb. And the way they were able to do it, it's so believable, it's so real. First of all, they utilize sound. Second thing, they utilize great visuals to create that realistic look and feel of these limbs. But at the end of the day, the performances are, they're okay. It's in Portuguese, it's translated, so I was struggling with watching the performance. I couldn't believe what they were saying, basically. It was hard for me to believe the screenplay. Everything felt a bit too convenient. Then the other thing, the pacing is off. You have a very good opening and then everything just slows down as you follow our main character. The pacing too is off because you have hot moment, cold moments. They are jumping in and out. Then and this for me was the biggest problem. The world doesn't feel lived in. Yes, it feels lived in, but you don't see a lot of people. And you see all these Blade Runner 2049 elements about the movie, but you don't see the people, especially at night, all the streets, or when they're just walking down the streets, you can see all these billboards and stuff, but there are no people. But something cool that I saw they did with some of the design in terms of the billboards, there's one thing that they did that was very, very cool. A character jumping from a hologram of a character jumping from like one poster to the other. So that was pretty cool. As you go into the third act, things get a bit exciting, but generally, I was already demoralized by the time that you get to that point. So would I recommend that you see this? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not a bad movie. It's not a perfect movie, but it's okay. It can help you pass your time if you love great visual. If you are into sci-fi and bionic stuff, limbs, the idea of robots and stuff, you might have a bit of fun. But in terms of story, it's okay. Yeah, there's an idea with the sports. There's an idea with the future where sports where sports allow actually people who've been injured to actually come in and play with bionic prosthetics. But generally, I just didn't feel it. You know the way you feel a movie, you watch a movie and then you go like, wow, I had a fantastic experience. This one was just lacking, and I think one of the things is the performances sometimes, and then the pacing. Something was just off with the pacing. The character motivation was clear from the word go, but it's everywhere, especially for the main character. All she wanted to be was a champion. All she wanted to be number one was beat her sister and maybe make a name for herself, because she's been training so much throughout her life. But the decisions that she makes to get there, what happens to her, for me, did not make any sense. So basically, that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch. I shall see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Adios.